How y'all doing? Hope yours are good. Drag you up a chair and set a spell while I tell you the legend of the jack-o'-lantern of Wheeler, Alabama. Long ago, it was told a googly-eyed jack-o'-lantern bounces across the swamps. Folks had to be careful of the jack-o'-lantern. It would lure them with his light. Once you've seen the jack-o'-lantern, you get the urge to follow him until you fall into a pool of water to drown. And the only way to resist him is to turn your pockets and coats inside out to convince him you wasn't there. And if you don't have a coat, you'd best be carrying a newly forged knife with newly forged steel. Like all evil, jack-o'-lantern don't like newly forged steel. It scares him away. How did this legend get started, you may ask? Long ago, a young man named Jack wanted power and riches. One day, Jack went to the crossroads and made a deal with the devil himself. If he was made rich and famous in 7 years, Jack would give his soul to the devil. For 7 years, Jack lived his rich and famous life. Then one day, the devil came to claim Jack's soul. But in those 7 years, Jack figured out a way to outsmart that old devil. He wasn't too particular on accompanying him to hell anyway. Just before the devil arrived, Jack tacked the sole of an old shoe above the door. Jack acted as though he was going to keep the end of the bargain when the devil came. Jack said, "Oh, dang, devil, I hid my soul so you wouldn't find me. But oh well, since you found me, I might as well give it to you." And the devil, being real annoyed with Jack, said, "Where is it?" And of course, Jack said, "Well, behind you, right there over the doorway." That old devil turned and looked, and he saw that old soul tacked up there to the doorway. And angrily, he walked across the room and grabbed a chair. And as he reached for that soul, Jack, being tricky, jumped up, nailed the devil's hands right to the doorpost. And the devil screamed, "Ouch!" And Jack pulled the chair out from under the devil's feet, just left the devil hanging there by his hand. And the devil screamed, "Jack, get me down from here." And the Jack, being the old sly dog he is, said, "Sorry, devil, but you're stuck here." And the devil screamed, "What do you want, Jack? What do you want from me?" And Jack slyly replied, "My freedom." He knew he had been outsmarted. The devil said, "Fine then, Jack, you got yourself a deal," as he was swinging back and forth. Jack, being a man of his word, got him down. And boy, I tell you what, the devil was sure angry with Jack for tricking him the way he did. So he just stomped away without even saying a word. Years later, when Jack had lived to be an old man with the finest wife and the finest children, he finally passed away. And Jack, being so excited, looking to glory land, as he'd been taught for many, many years by the local preacher, he ascended to heaven. And when he got to the gate, he was greeted by an angel. And she asked Jack, said, "Jack, are you lost? You don't belong here. Remember that old deal you made with the devil?" And Jack started a fussing and a hollering and a hooting until he was blue in the face. But no matter what he did, he wasn't getting in heaven. And finally, giving in with his head hung low, he started back down the other gates. And Jack was really worried about the old devil being sore at him for the trick he pulled. When he got to the other gate, he hesitated. He gulped real big. Then he knocked 3 times. And to Jack's surprise, he heard a reply. "Who's there?" the devil said. And Jack replied, "Well, old devil, it's your buddy Jack." The devil said, "Ain't no friend of mine, Jack. Out of the mean old trick you pulled on me, you're too smart for hell. So go on and get out of here." And Jack pleaded with the devil, "I've got nowhere else to go. What am I supposed to do? Besides, them old angels won't hear of me in heaven." And the devil said, "Well, you're way too wicked for heaven, and you're just too smart for hell, so go on and get." And Jack asked, "What am I supposed to do? Besides, I can't see out here in all this darkness." And the devil reached down and picked up a chunk of brimstone and threw it at him and said, "Here, use this. Now get out of here." And Jack placed the stone into a lantern so that it wouldn't get blown out. Jack and the lantern came back to Earth to roam in the darkness forever. Bitter and angry from what had happened, Jack started using that old lantern to lure people into the swamp and mud holes. He is taking his hatred out on the poor sinners, 'cause heaven or hell wanted him. So folks, if you're ever out in them old woods and swamps, you best keep a newly forged knife on you, or Jack will get you. Well, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed this old tale. It came from an old book I received from keeping Appalachia entitled Spooky South. I just want to thank y'all so much for watching. Y'all have a good one. And we'll see y'all next time.